what I learned about the women in your prison, they're very different from men. And the biggest thing that I think was different, most women that were there, the way that you and the other counselors had worked with them by the time I got to them, they never, ever wanted to come back to this hellhole that they're in. I mean, the being put into prison was the most awful thing imaginable in their life. And almost everybody in there had an attitude that I think they got a lot from you, that they don't need to ever see the inside of those walls again. If they can learn what changes they need to make, they can go back out in life. Life can be dramatically different so that they never do come back again. And that they were great students because I believe that they wanted to learn everything they possibly could from me. And that I had very, very few students in there that were not really engaged in trying to learn what I had to present. And they knew that what I had that you brought me in to do was good for them. Let me read this, and then I'll let you go on to something here. My program description and goal that's in my workbooks. The program is based on the premise that if a person is under financial stress, he or she will make bad decisions. A person that has been incarcerated and is making bad decisions has a very high chance he or she will recidivate. The program teaches an overall awareness of how money works in a person's life and provides tools that will assist them as they learn to think and plan ahead, making right decisions, reducing the amount of stress in their lives, and not reverting back to the old ways of thinking that resulted in their incarceration. The goal of the program is to teach participants responsibility and to help each one to a better chance of success in life. I think that the reason that y'all let me in there was because that dovetailed so well with what the Virginia Department of Corrections was trying to achieve.
I agree with you on that, Steve. And just to kind of add, based on what you read there, that's just not just for incarcerated individuals. That's for individuals just living in everyday life.
I'm going to give you hallelujah before you go any further. Hallelujah, because that's the whole point that this show really is. It's not just for this one population. It's for all of us.
And it is, and it's so true. And the reason why I say this is because I'm looking at myself. We all go through trials and tribulations. And I know it's been times where I have felt that type of stress, financial stress. And it did sometimes lead me to make wrong decisions. And, we all make mistakes. If we didn't make mistakes, how can we learn? How can we grow? That's what it's called about. That's what caused the word experience come from. And a lot of times we kind of look at those things when people make mistakes. We try to, kind of downgrade them on that. And the point I really wanted to connect with those individuals, to let them know that, you know what, just because I'm standing in front of you and kind of, facilitating this program doesn't mean that I'm better than you. And one thing I always share with my population is that, I can go out and make the wrong decision and I can end up in the same position that you're in. And that's why we have to make sure that we equip ourselves with the things we need to avoid us from doing that. That's why if you're a person that dealing with drugs and you got a drug addiction, that's why it may be important to get with an NA group. So when you kind of dealing with some situation, you have someone you can reach out to, you can call, that you can talk to, that can help guide you through that process. If you're dealing with alcohol, you go to AA. If you ain't dealing with that, you're dealing with some other type of mental health issues, you try to set up sessions with a counselor that you can reach out, or just have someone that you can confide into. And that's so important for everyone out here. But to speak just directly for the people that's returning back to society from out of incarceration is even more challenging for them. Because first of all, they're going to be judged when they walk out. And they got to stand tall and stand strong. If they're not built to weather those type of things or go through that type of storm, you're correct. It can cause them to lead them right back to where they know. Because think about it. We can easily go back to what we know because we know we're good at it. But when we face with challenges and we want to do things differently, that keeps us uncomfortable. But when we're uncomfortable, guess what that's doing for us? That's making us grow to be even better than what we are. So I tell people, accept the challenge. Because the only thing the challenge going to do is make you find out something about yourself that you might not ain't known. And guess what? Once you cross that hurdle, when the next hurdle comes, guess what? You don't build up your adrenaline or your confidence to a level that you say, I can get across that one because I got across this one. And we have to encourage them each and every day to incorporate that within themselves. And one thing I always ask my client, my population, I ask them, tell me the good about you. And it's amazing that a lot of them would not respond very quickly. And I told them, I said, look, see, if you sitting there and cannot say nothing good about yourself, then that's something you need to work on because you have good in you. You just been told so much about bad or you think you bad, and that's why it's hard for you to try to bring it out. And the thing that I try to share with them is how they build relationships. Some of them build relationships as far as taking care of each other while they're there. And that is something that I really loved about working in corrections is that I knew each day I walked in is not going to be the same. I knew it can be somewhat of a challenge, but I knew I had a purpose and a reason to be there. And I love that person and reason for being there because I know those individuals needed someone that they can look up to. And I love the point about what you said about what the staff said about you coming in and respecting them. And that was something with the female population that they had to understand and grasp because that was one of the downfalls about them going back in society, getting in unhealthy relationships. And we had to try to educate them about trying to be in a healthy relationship and, what a healthy relationship looked like. And the first thing that we try to share with them is that, first of all, you got to take care of yourself first before you begin to want to take care of, someone else. Another big downfall of them is having that relationship with their child. And what people did not really understand a lot was the women struggled with that process. And it was a challenge for them. And it was something that they wanted to have back in place, but they just didn't know how to kind of work it out. But DOC set up a program out west where they worked with DSS, where they did video conferencing where the mother could speak and talk with her child and, before she got out. And so these are the things I'm saying that DOC had incorporated and brought in and put in place those type programs because it was somewhere they once they became a part of it, it's like it gave them hope. Like, you know what? I didn't know I can do this, but now I can. So now I can begin to do what I need to do to build this relationship with my child before I ain't get outside the gates. And that was so wonderful. And it built the woman confidence up and courage up to where now they feel like they can come back and be the parent they need to be for their child. DOC has done an awesome job as far as providing the things that the returning citizen need. I feel any person that's incarcerated in the state of Virginia has enough resources, not just inside, it's outside in your probation districts as well. It's out there with all the other state agencies. Working in that program, I played like a liaison. I went out and talked with employers. What was the challenges or the barriers of hiring somebody, with a criminal record and get their understanding. These are the things that DOC, made staff, begin to kind of go out and work on where we come back inside and we can share with the population, hey, look, because see, the population always felt like nobody would hire them. So what we did, we went out and spoke with these individuals, these employees, and say, let us know what it is, and we come back and educate them. Okay, this is what they told us. So if you come in and work on these things, you have a great opportunity to become employed. And I think that's something just wonderful, because when you can give these individuals this information, where you heard it from the peoples that they feel like that's the challenge for them, and they shared that they're willing to give them an opportunity. I mean, it can't get no better than that. And that's what I really loved about DLC when they implemented and increasing their reentry program to the level where it became to the point where people felt like they was giving what they need. And I tell a lot of the population, hey, look, you got a belt on. Now it's time to put those tools on that belt on what you need to be successful. I got introduced to this gentleman that was formerly incarcerated. And this gentleman came in and he was awesome. I mean, we talked right today. This guy comes in and he shares his testimony with the population, the female population. And, those are the individuals that we knew we had to put in front of our population to win them, to let them know that it's possible. It can be done. Because a lot of them had a mindset is like, it's impossible. You all ain't trying to help me. You all ain't trying to give me what I need. Or y'all ain't trying to put things in place to give me what I need. And we had to show them that we was moving forward. DOC was moving forward with that process. And they was listening to the population. We had, sessions where we did dialogue and asking them questions, what they felt that we can improve at to give them the opportunity to feel more confident when walking out. And DOC, I felt they did an awesome job as incorporating and listening to that and going out and implementing new things in regards to what they said. And that's why the recidivism rate, I felt, dropped from that 28% to where it is today. And you're correct, Mr. Copeland, it is the lowest recidivism rate, I think, in the state now. And one thing I experienced while working with DOC, we were having a lot of people from other states, even outside of the country, coming in wanting to learn what we was doing. And not just to talk about what we were doing for the population, also the training that they gave staff. We went through extensive training about dialogue, effective communication, equipping us what we need to do to be effective in doing this, to make this a win-win all the way around. So I think DOC is continuing to move in the right direction. They're doing the right thing. I like the fact that they have those resources for those individuals out there to where they can become a part of, to where they can get back in life and begin to live the life they want to live. But in order to get to that point, first in order to achieve, you got to believe in yourself.
Reginald, it is just wonderful to have this conversation with you, because if I wasn't already doing what I'm doing, I'd want to be part of this that you've started there. And I want to talk for just a minute about just how beautiful it is from the heart that you do. So my program was a financial literacy program, and I had a course called Personal Finance and Small Business Ownership. And I would come into Brunswick, and we would usually break it into a month or so. And it was just overall how money works in your life, just teaching all the basics about how money goes and how credit works and all those basic things, and how money's just a tool and you got to be, whatever. It's just all the basics. But then a whole lot of people that are incarcerated, they want to start their own business. And part of that's because they don't believe that they're going to get hired and they're going to feel like they have to have their own business. And so part of what I did with that is I flipped that coin on the other side, and I let them know that until you become the world's greatest employee, and you'll never have your own business that'll succeed, because if you're not a good employee, you're not going to know how to have employees working under you. So that was part of my concept. And then I also let them know that you can't make it without credit. You can't make it without having some working capital. And I taught them what working capital is and all that detail. But what I'm getting at is this. After they took my personal finance, small business ownership, anybody that graduated from that class and got a certificate, that wanted to take the business plan class, which is the backbone of having your own business, is knowing how to do a business.